This is the first episode of 97 Octane Hockey, a new podcast brought to you by myself, Mike Dursa, and coming up, joining me on the show going forward is going to be Chad Graham and Bob Schmidt. These guys are in full character, and I might as well introduce you to them now.
What's up?
Hello, brothers.
It's game time.
So, Chad Graham,
Yo.
me and you have some history. We went to the same high school when we both went. Chad, you know, you were kind of through the Killam and maybe Daysland. I'm not even sure, but that's kind of your minor hockey, and I was my minor hockey was, well, it started out at Peoria River when I was little, but then Central Alberta and Sedgwick is where I played bantam, and then I basically played in the Massachusetts when I was in grade 11, and I'm the self-proclaimed Lady Byng trophy winner for Massachusetts high school hockey. And then Bobby underneath me, I just found out ECHL, Peoria Rivermen. I guess right out of the gate, I want to know from both of you. I've had 2 fights in my hockey career from the time I was 4 till yesterday. One of them, I one-punched a guy in bantam. He hit the deck, and my line was busy scoring a goal. I didn't even get a penalty, so I don't even know if you can call it a fight if that doesn't happen. And then my other fight was in rec hockey. There was a guy running around gooning people on our team, and you know, I went and I said, you stick a guy that can barely skate. We're just out here to have fun. If you do it again, you know, I'm gonna drop the gloves. And the guy was about 6'5" and probably about 250, but he kept playing the same way, and so I did drop the gloves. He said, hit me. I'm like, no, throw the first one. So I let him throw his first punch, and I kind of got my head out of the way, and I went to throw this giant haymaker, and I over-rotated and went down, and he went on top of me, and then he tried to hit me while he was down on top of me, and I was face first into the ice, and he actually swung, and I moved my head, and he punched the ice. And,
nice.
Yeah, and then people had to kind of get us separated or whatever. And the rest of the game, it calmed down. But the funniest part about the whole thing is after that, for about 1.5 years in beer league, I was known as Killer. You know, like Slapshot, they were calling me Killer.
We had to make sure you weren't foiling before every game.
So, Mr. Graham, you might as well introduce yourselves to everybody first, and then Bobby can go.
Chad Graham's the name. Played goal my whole life since I was 5 years old. Yep, played for Killam when I was in Central Alberta, moved to Vancouver, played some AAA hockey for Aldergrove, played for the Langley Thunder in BC. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My best fight of all time had to have been Rocky Mountain House playing bantam for Killam. It was a rough day. They were on me pretty bad. Refs didn't really care too much. So I took matters into my own hand and I did the dominoes down the bench at the end of the second period as we were skating off the ice. And then the third turned into a pretty good time. Tim Matthews was having a trouble with the guy in front of the net. I took my blocker up underneath his cage, and that was the end of his day. Yeah, that was probably my funnest fight. Been in a few since then, but that was probably the most memorable.
Decent. The name is Bob, and I'm goaltending is my passion. I can't play anymore because of knee surgeries and back surgery, but I have no minor hockey experience. First time I had equipment on, I was 17 years old, and oddly enough, it was just a bunch of us farm kids, and we challenged a local town team to a game. So my first organized hockey game was that game. And got into a fight in my first ever organized hockey game where the guy got cross-checked on top of me. I was lying down, and I went to push him off, and he thought I was punching him. So he started punching me. And at 17, if somebody's punching you, you got to man up because of all the girls are watching. So I'm like, well, if he's punching me, I'm punching him. And then the bench is cleared as a bench clearing brawl. My first organized hockey game was a bench clearing brawl where I got 17 minutes and penalties in my first game. And then like Dursa touched on, I have a brief experience there with in East Coast Hockey with Peoria Rivermen. So I did earn a paycheck that had the St. Louis Blues logo on the top right-hand corner. So that was kind of cool. And then an experience over in Slovakia as well. So I'm not all talk. I just can't back it up anymore. I also had one hand goalie fight in the handshake line where as a goalie, when it was in a tournament. So as a goalie, you're the first guy to handshake line. So shaking hands and good game, all that bullshit. And then something happened behind me and I turned around and a fight had broken out. So we're all on the ice. I'm like, well, if a fight's breaking out, I need to grab one of their players because you can't be outmanned. So I went and grabbed the guy and he thought I was initiating a fight with him. I was just grabbing the guy because that's what you do when you're watching someone else fight. So he started punching me, and I'm like, oh, shit, now here I am fighting again. So I got 4 career fights as a goalie, 4 career fights as a goalie, none with the other team's goalie. It's always been with another player.
So,
Bruiser Bob, I love it.
So the next thing I want to talk about, because we talked about our little shenanigans, my favorite goalie fight of all time was Ray Emery against Biron. And then he gets done with that, and then he gets into it with a big, tough guy in Andrew Peters, and he fought them both, and I mean that was for me that was the best thing I've ever seen. The Smith Talbot thing was great, but that Ray Emery, fighting a goalie and then a player for me is the peak. What do you got, Bob? We'll let you go first on this one.
Well. That's a good one to start off right out the gate. I like that one. For me, it's actually the 2 goalie thing. So, being an Oiler fan, diehard Oiler fan, when Hextall came to the league in '87, he became our enemy because he was like we played him in the final, and he did that whole slashing against Kent Nielsen and all that stuff. Like he was that's where he got the Hextall stuff from. He just became that guy that I couldn't stand, and I was also a big Felix Potvin fan. And when he was with Toronto. So when Hextall and Potvin fought, that's my favorite fight because Hextall was known as this fighter, Potvin was known as this mild-mannered guy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Potvin won that fight.
Whooped his fucking ass is what he did.
See, I like that. I was being politically correct, but you were dead on the money. I thought he whooped his ass as well. Hextall's got his head down. You can see it keep popping up because Potvin just going uppercuts. That's my favorite goal fight. That's my favorite.
That was awesome. Yeah, for me, it's always going to be that Smith Talbot fight. It was perfect. It was awesome. It was fun to watch. But Waugh versus Vernon was a really good one in '97, I think it was 98, '97.
In that area.
Yeah, somewhere because and then the year after he fights Osgood, right?
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Yeah. So Patrick Waugh versus anybody is pretty much my favorite fight. But yeah, the Emery one I actually really enjoyed, but definitely the Hextall at Potvin, that's the one that I will never forget. That is my favorite of all time.
fucking went back to
Yeah.
the intro.
That was worth getting a theme music song for. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Good job, Mikey.
You know what though? I did a quick little check on something because I knew we were going to talk about goalie fights. So I did a quick check on the internet to see. I just grabbed there was 44 goalies that have had 100 career penalty minutes or more, and so I just checked from those 44 to see who had the most fights as a goalie. Want to take any guesses?
Billy Smith.
Dursa?
Most fights as a goalie. Man, who is a loose cannon? Man. I'm gonna say Hextall.
You know what? The go-to would have been Hextall. Hextall actually had 5 career fights, which ties him for 5th overall. Wow. The number one goalie, Chad nailed it, Billy Smith, and it's not even close.
Really?
Billy Smith has 21 career fights. Second place is a goalie named Doug Favell and another one named Al Smith with 7 fights. That's second place.
I want the stat how many stitches were caused by Billy Smith's stick.
you know,
I don't know if I can find it. But another interesting one, though. So another thing I did is I checked to see how many Oiler goalies have gotten into fights when they were an Oiler. And there have been 4 in total. Mike Smith versus Cam Talbot is the latest one in 2020. Before that, Matthew Guerin fought Eric Goddard of the Colorado Avalanche in 2008. Yeah.
Holy shit, he went up a weight class.
I know, right? Goddard's a proven fighter, so the fact that Guerin was in there. But I get you, because Guerin was left-handed, so I bet you that caused some confusion with some lefty punches. The second one was Ty Compton fought Passy Nurminen of the Atlanta Thrashers in 2004. The first ever National Hockey League Edmonton Oilers fight for a goalie was Andy Moog in 1985. He fought Tim Coulis of the Minnesota North Stars. And that, my friends, is called a mass drop. No, Mike. That's how we do it in the stats world.
Oh, we got a new segment already. So, I mean, this is the off season, so I mean, topics are going to be, you know, not so much Oiler focused. We'll go around other things before we talk really about the Oilers. And Angel piped in on the chat earlier saying, "Good evening, fellas." Good evening, Angel.
Good evening, Angel.
To let you guys know, I don't know if you know Chad, but kind of the next show we do, we're going to get Angel and Rob, so we won't have an audience. we'll get our most avid listeners on our next show coming out. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, one of the goals that I want to have kind of for us moving forward is to kind of make it so that, you know, our listeners can become our guests, you know, and have a little bit of a hometown feel. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, because I know you and I both, Chad, have coached minor hockey, and I'm sure Bob's been in that world too. You know, what kind of can happen in minor hockey is, you know, kids start their season in October and they play until the spring, and then some kids are into spring hockey. They get done spring hockey, they play some summer hockey, and then before you know it, the season's starting all over again. I'm okay with a little bit of the spring hockey, but I don't think it's healthy for youth, especially really young, to be playing 365 days a year. I think to become, you know, a better hockey player, you need to play other sports. I think what really helped me as a hockey player was, I was a basketball player. I was a point guard. I think the thing, it's almost like being a quarterback in football. You have to see plays. You have to see things going on. So I was rarely caught with my head down. I was usually caught because my wheels weren't chugging as fast as they probably needed to. So I was caught in the corner more so than in the middle of the ice. But, you know, playing other sports, learning other skills, you know, as a goalie, I'm sure, you know, playing ball, being a shortstop or a fielder, fielding balls helps you to field, pucks, get in the way of it, kind of like you do in baseball. They both hurt if they hit you in the wrong place. I want to know where you come from. I'll let Bob go first because I'm sure, Chad, you'll be longer. But I'm not one that thinks that minor hockey kids should be playing 365 days a year. I think they need a break. I think they need to play other sports, and I think that'll help them to get further.
I can't disagree with that. Yeah, I did coach minor hockey for a while, and I coached all the way to like junior B, and also was a goalie coach in junior A, and helped out with the Lethbridge Hurricanes one year for their training camp. So I've seen a lot of these hockey players come from different areas and backgrounds, and I know for myself, I did learn. I took a lot of disciplines because I played every sport I could get my hands on when I was a kid. I wanted to play everything. So I'm able to look back and see which skills I developed at certain sports that I was able to translate into my hockey game, especially as a goaltender. Everything from footwork to different breathing that you do in different sports. The hand-eye coordination, to the agility, like all these things. I'm not a guy. I know I don't look it because I'm so freaking massive and huge, but I'm not a guy who hits the gym. So for me, the exercise I get is from playing. So I'm building these skills and these muscles and stuff like that from different sports, and being able to amalgamate all that into basically this perfect athlete that you see in front of you. For when I was playing hockey. Now, one of my fears is these kids that played the 365 days a year. I'd be more afraid of them burning out and losing the love of the game. One of the things that you look forward to every winter was the training camp. Like, hockey season started. I'm gung ho for hockey season. You're able to play your ball, your basketball, that stuff, and then you're ready for hockey season. And there's that kind of that excitement of like, it's almost like that second Christmas. Hockey season is starting. And one of my fears would be that you kind of lose that love because you do it too much and burn yourself out. I don't know, Chad, go ahead.
My turn.
Bring it.
Oh God. Okay, boys, grab some popcorn, grab a beer. It's going to be a while. My experience is way different, and I actually completely disagree with what you're saying. 100% disagree. Through the minor hockey side of things with coaching, I did do both the AA Adam team coaching plus the spring league team in Grand Prairie. It's just basically spring team or spring league coaching they do for their kids to keep them in shape throughout the spring. It's a really great program. I really enjoyed doing it. I was brought in as a coach who didn't have a kid. So they basically hired me to come and do it. It was a lot of fun. But growing up, when I moved to Vancouver, I went to Delphi Academy, which is a private school. And I was there to play hockey. I got a scholarship. I was there playing hockey. And that 1996, I played I was on the ice 364 days that year. On the ice, playing colleges, doing practice. We had Trevor Linden come out. We had Kirk McLean come out. We had Troy Gamble come out. We had lots of players come out. And for us, everybody in that school, everybody on that team wanted to make the NHL. So it wasn't about fun for us. It was about, we got to strive to be the best. We have to work our asses off. We're whooping the crap out of Simon Fraser University, which was hilarious because we were all 15, 16 years old, kicking the crap out of the college teams. But yes, that's what it takes. I guarantee you the players that make the NHL that are actually playing hardcore competitive hockey, this is how they're training now. They are in the gym. They are training hard. Their land training is ridiculous. They're constantly training 365 days of the year. That's the way that's what it takes right now. So I agree with these new leagues coming in and the spring programs, and the kids that are striving to make it, they need that.
Okay, quick question for you. What age were you when you went over to Vancouver?
I was 14.
Okay. Yeah, you're getting up there in the mid-teens. Because I can see this more so for like later teens and college years, because for these guys that do have that desire and actually a chance to maybe to make the pros, like hockey is a 365-day-a-year job basically right now. Like, so these guys are all training year-round. I think I was probably talking more so for like the younger kids. Like we're
Like how old? I think it should start at least 10.
well, and like you bring up good points. I can't argue those points. That's for sure. My fear would be that they would lose the passion of the sport because they got burned out by it. That's all.
For sure. And I mean, there is those kids that have a lot of talent and their parents are doing the pushing, and that part sucks. But then there's the kids that really, really want to get better, and they need those programs. They have to have them.
My criticism is I think you learn more that you can take with you on the ice by playing other sports.
Well, and I agree with you too, Mike. But there's also that thing like my happy place it was the hockey rink and being in the crease. So as much as I say that, and I agree with it though too. Like I brought a lot of stuff from other sports to be able to help my hockey game. Had I been given the choice at my age, then I would have played hockey all year round. I mean, because that was my happiest place. But I also don't think I would have gotten as far as I did though if I had played hockey all year round. Because I'm not sure you're only developing a certain set of skills that are aimed at that position at that game. And if you bring in stuff like I said, different breathing, different agility stuff, and bring that as part of your game, I think it made me a better goaltender.
And I don't disagree with that at all. But the thing is, even when I was playing that year, I played 364 days. The only day off was Christmas. The only day. I still played ball. I still played golf.
Okay. So that's a great point, Chad. So at least you weren't just playing the hockey. You were still doing other stuff as well and mixing it in with the hockey together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So.
And you didn't feel burnt out?
No. That was the best year of my life.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
What an experience. Sheesh.
So who has a tougher assignment this year coming up? Kyle Dubas in Pittsburgh or Brad Treliving in Toronto?
Dustin Schwartz in Edmonton.
That's a whole nother show right there.
I plan on bringing this up at least once an episode. I promise you.
Hey, I'm with you. If I hear you're forgetting, I'm going to remind you.
I won't forget.
I think we need to send you to the penalty box for 2 minutes for shooting the puck over the boards.
I think it's in Toronto, Treliving or whatever his name is. I think he's got a tougher assignment. There's so much pressure in the Toronto market. In all honesty, they probably should have had one by now. Like they've just been coming up short. If he loses in the first round next year, like what's that going to be? Like if you don't get further than what you did this previous season, I don't know what's going to happen there. Like does Toronto burn to the ground? I have no idea. Like I actually feel sorry for that fan base to some extent because it's crazy. As much as we bitch about we should have won a cup by now, and we probably should have. We've made it to the Final Four. We've been competitive the whole way through. Like Toronto, seriously, like they've been a top 10 team here for how long now, and still nothing past to just get past the first round this year. Like that's just ouch.
It makes me smile.
It makes me smile when the Toronto fans are bitching at me for sure. But other than that, I almost feel sorry for them. Like, oh my goodness, there's how many people are alive today that have remembered their last Stanley Cup, like 1967? Seriously,
I got no love for the center of the universe.
I don't even mind the Leafs. It's just the fact that the media outlets are all based in Toronto, so they make it. But when it comes to the hockey itself, I like watching them. I don't hate Matthews. I don't hate Marner. It's just how do you come up short so often with a team that's that good? Like there's something wrong.
Oh yeah, no, but you're right. They're like the how do you explain it? They're like the frat, but they're like the hoity-toity Harvard kids, where everybody that goes to Toronto is too good to play on a team.
That's right.
Yeah,
pretty much. So we've got about 10 minutes to go. This is we'll try to do this on a somewhat of a weekly basis if we can. Maybe during the season, step it up too if the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise and all that fun stuff. But I was pretty excited for today. I went to Home Depot this morning. I was like a little kid, and I made like a new shelving unit. It's a work in progress. I'm not done yet. What eventually is going to happen is on the far sides, it's going to be all white, and there'll be lights in it, and all kinds of crazy shit going on. I just ran out of time, so I kind of got the unit up, and it's solid, and probably at some point there'll be a TV back there. It was kind of our logo, just kind of focused on there and be able to do different things and whatnot. But just to kind of get out of the gate, kind of got it going. Have the trophy from the Oilers Live Cup, I guess, heavy hockey showdown now. And Grant.
Defending champion.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. I'm happy. I'm so thrilled you guys are on board, and it is a lot to kind of start up a whole new venture, but with you guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Bob's, going to the Pelly Lindbergh mask right out of the, before we even started the show.
This is an actual game used mask. This isn't just some dipshit stuff you pick up at a collective store. This is an actual game. Not from me.
Yeah,
the toughest question. The toughest question I'm ever going to ask you, Bob, on the show is where did Jason Voorhees play hockey at?
Philadelphia.
Born and raised is where a playground is where I spent most of my days. I think it's going to be quiet for the Oilers heading up to the draft. A lot happened to be able to acquire Matthias Ekholm, and I don't regret any of it. That was a hell of a pickup by Ken Holland. Looks like the Florida Panthers' luck is about to run out. So it looks like in back-to-back years, the Edmonton Oilers have went down at the hands of the eventual Stanley Cup winning team. I think it's just a fait accompli before Vegas ends it. I guess on one hand that's a positive because you're close, but on another it's like you just kind of got away a little bit.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You're here to say
Who are you pointing the finger at, Chad? Who are you pointing the finger at?
Fuck you, Schwartz. Jack Campbell all the way.
Here's the thing, though. Since we're touching on Schwartz, he's going to be there next year. Skinner is a Calder candidate. That automatically ensures Schwartz is there next year. So it is what it is. And Skinner had a hell of a regular season. We all know what happened in the playoffs. Let's see what next year brings. But I think you're right, Dursa. There's something to be said to eventually losing to the Stanley Cup champions. That means we're right there, and we really are right there. Let's. I'm ready for the season to be done so we can start the next season because let's get fired right out of the gate.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be coming into next season with a strong team, so that's exciting. I mean, next season is actually probably going to be the most exciting season I've been excited for. With Ekholm to start with the core guys still there. I don't think they're not going to move Nuge. I don't care what the stupid rumors are.
I don't know why they would. What are we getting? So seriously, guys, what do we need? We got tougher. Our defense got better. And, hopefully our goaltending will get there where we know it can be, and it showed that it can be at times. So what do we need?
Go Durst, this one's on you, buddy.
Yeah, my biggest critique with this team, I think, is that if Cody Ceci is your top right shot D, I think that needs a little bit of an improvement. I don't think he's quite what you need if you're going to be a Stanley Cup winning team on your right side. I think they need an upgrade there. And that's tough because I don't know how that actually happens. You have to probably get rid of something to get something there to make that happen. So,
well, that was supposed to be Desharnais, wasn't it?
I don't think he's mobile enough to be that guy either. I think where he is probably where he's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. And he'll be effective there. So
yeah, I think he'll get better than what he showed in this year's playoffs, but I don't think he's far away from hitting his peak as a player. I just think he'll get more experienced and some of the reads will get better, but I don't see him getting faster or more mobile. I just think his reads will get better.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I guess this is probably about as far as we need to go today. We just wanted to launch and kind of get out there and put out a show. And if I wasn't a little trigger happy starting the show when we were on the show a couple times, it would have been pretty solid. But thanks for watching, Angel, if you're out there, or if you had to go rescue your cousin again from jail like you did on Tuesday on Michael's show. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. There's the YouTube channel. Everything's 97 Octane Hockey, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you get your social media. And sometime tomorrow, this will be going to Spotify and iTunes, and eventually I'll figure out Google Podcast. Thanks for listening and watching, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Keep your sticks on the ice and keep reaching for the stars, and go Oilers go next year.